We're good. And we are live.
Yes.
Hey guys, it's Matt Williams here. We're at PBS headquarters and I'm with Renee Herold from the Temple Skincare and Spa.
Yes. Hi,
Thank
everybody.
you for joining us today.
Pleasure.
Now we're here to talk about all things business, but I
Yep.
want to open by saying we've gone back and forth a few times. One of the things I love about getting together with you and talking about business, and you were one of our standout panel members at our recent Skin
Thank you.
Summit, and you got so much praise for your, you know, the word that kept on coming out was authenticity.
Crybaby? Oh.
No, not crybaby. It was authenticity because you're, you just spoke from the heart, and I love that. But one of the other things that I love about getting together with you and discussing businesses, like you'll call and say, all right, I want some strategy around this or that. And for every idea that I can give you, I feel like you give me two back. And that, which I love. Like that's so good because you're a very astute businesswoman, and you've got an amazing business. And the thing for me is that I've never had a salon, spa or clinic. I've never been on that front line. So we were discussing earlier, sometimes I think at that level where it's a real strategic level, but I don't get down to the tactical nitty gritty of it all. And that's unavoidable when like you can get it at that strategic level, but you can also then dig down into the tactical level of exactly what's required on the front line.
Yeah, exactly.
So I love that about getting together
It's
with
good
you.
banter together.
It's really, really good. So a few little things that we wanted to talk about today is, well, there's so many areas of business. One of the things that I think the biggest mistake that people make is whether you're a therapist or whether you're a builder or whether you're a plumber. There's a great book that was written a long time ago. In fact, when I was a teenager, I sold seminars for this guy. But it's by Michael Gerber, The E-Myth.
The E-Myth,
Yeah. So if you haven't read The E-Myth, it's a great book and it talks about the challenges that so many business owners, small to medium-sized business owners face. And essentially the E-Myth, the E stands for the entrepreneurial myth, which is that if you're a great technician, you're a great therapist, or you're a great builder or plumber, then you would make a great business owner in that category as well. And it does not work that way.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why it doesn't work that way is because even if your technical ability is outstanding, you haven't considered all the other areas of the business that need to be considered. And that's again what I love about your business. You're technically proficient and you can get in there and do it, but you also have the ability to take that step back and say, okay, how's the business working as a whole completely? So we were discussing where people really should start at that point. And one of the things that you mentioned is that sometimes when you work with mentoring clients, which we'll talk about a little bit later, is you go straight to, or you begin with the vision, the mission and the values of the business. So tell us why that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for a start, you can't really, if you're running your business without a clear vision of where you want it to go, or even of what your core values are behind your business, you're kind of just running by default and going round and round in circles. You don't really have a clear picture in your mind what your brand needs to become. So how can you then instill on all your staff members how you want them to behave, what you want your brand to reflect, and all of the other behaviours that go with that to kind of stay true to who you are as a brand.
I think that's the key missing link that I was thinking about our conversation earlier. It's the translation. It's one thing to have it all up in your head, but if it's not if it's not communicated to the team, if it now doesn't make the vision, mission, and values, it doesn't have to be a plaque on a wall or a poster at the back. It's about what you embody every day, but it's got to be communicated to the team. And to communicate it to the team, it can't just be somewhere in your head. And I know that I've talked to salon owners, as have you, where it hasn't even crossed their mind that they might need that. I mean, vision is like, what do you see for the future? The mission is like, why are we doing it? And then the values are, who are we about? And what's how do we feel about our clients? Why do we select the brands that we select? Why do we have the treatment menu we've got? That all comes down to vision, mission, and values. What you want to create.
Absolutely. So I would start by writing your vision first. So your vision could be, and we touched on this on the panel, your vision could be, and I explained that the way that I started is from 4 years, it's 4 years from now and then you write the story of actually where you're going to be. Because if you are writing it from a perspective as though it's already happened, you're feeling it, you're living it, what does it look like, what does it smell like, how does it feel to be successful where you want it to be, then is more likely to happen than if it's a fairy tale as such.
Yeah.
So start out with writing your vision first. Think to yourself, what is your purpose? So why am I actually in business? My purpose is really clear to me now. And it never was before. It was kind of a little bit, I just feel like it didn't quite sit. And my purpose is probably not as magical as what other people's would be, but it's real for my existence. And so mine would be basically the first reason why I'm in business, why it's important for me to hit targets and make money every day and every year, is because I want to be able to have the money to be able to give my children and my family experiences.
Yeah.
So I want to now be able to go on the holidays that we can afford to do. You know, like I've got an amazing family. We mentioned on the panel that, you know, this is my second marriage, and, you know, I love the husband that I'm with, and I love my children, and I want that unit to be able to enjoy experiences in life. So to do that, I have to make money.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. The second thing, part of my purpose, is I want to make money because I want to be able to provide for people that have less than me. So 10 to 20% of all of my turnover then goes towards charities, and supporting things like Hawkesbury Helping Hands, B1G1, or Hands Across the Water, whatever it is that I choose to support.
Yeah.
That's kind of giving to
I love
people that are in less situation. And then the last part of my purpose, why I get up and do what I do and why it's so important to make money, is to empower my team. So I love to see everyone around me grow as much as what I do.
Yeah.
So it's about empowering them with education, it's empowering them with rewards, and motivating them to feel like they're worthy and amazing therapists that they are. So there's definitely 3 reasons why I have a purpose in doing it.
I like that. In fact, if I think about the salon owners watching, to break that down, money, meaning, and freedom as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you've got the freedom to travel where you want to travel and to create the experiences that you want. Because sometimes people can get a little bit funny about, should money be the motivator? Because some
it's
people
like
say,
a taboo thing.
it's like a taboo, and it shouldn't be, because like money's important.
Yeah.
But as long as it's also, but you're backing it up with you want meaning, because it's
Yeah.
not just about the single-minded drive for money. Like you said, you want to spend your money on experiences.
Yeah.
So money, meaning, and then freedom. And I know that you've got a business that, and this is really key, getting back to like a Michael Gerber line, which is a business that works harder for you than you do for it.
Yes.
Now, I know you work hard.
Yeah.
And I know that you've worked hard for a lot of years, but now you've built it to the point, and this should be the aspiration of everyone watching, is you've built it to the point where it can work harder for you than you have to work for it, based on the returns that you get. So I think that motivation, that driving force behind why you do what you do, is fantastic. And I know that you've just come back from Bali, where you stayed at an exquisite location, and you also took the opportunity to, you can tell the story, but to help out some locals because you're financially in a position where you can. And that feels so good. I think that's one of the really nice things about having money is being able to give back and being able to change lives with what might seem like a little bit to you, but can be life transforming for them, which is also why the charities you support as well.
Absolutely. The thing is with your purpose is it has to be bigger than just you. It can't just be about money, because when the money is gone, then your passion for your business will go too. So it has to be a bigger driver. So for me, it's about helping others around me. Now, if I make money, then I can help people like my family. I can help my loved ones in my circle. I can help other people that may need a little bit of help. So it's not about me so I can just sip pina coladas on Cool Island somewhere. It's about giving me the tools that I can then spread to other people around me, and then also having the money to be able to help charities and lesser people in need.
And I would add to that, because this is something that I have wrestled with over the years. We've got a business that turns over a lot of money, and sometimes I'm like, oh wow, if I talk about the bottom line, people can do some quick math on that and think, oh wow, why does he need that much? But it's not about me needing that much. With business, and this is what's really important, no matter what size you're at, it's about creating a sustainable business and a predictable business. Because invariably, you hit, sometimes you'll hit hard times, so you need the good times to be able to cater for the bad times. But also, business, if you're working on fine margins, like none of us have the luxury of being a Google where margins might be massive. We've all got cost of goods, we've got labour costs, and the margins at the end of the day aren't always amazing. So you have to be able to be really clear on making sure that the ends are meeting, so that you can also, so that your team will have a job next year
Absolutely.
and the year after that.
Sustainable.
So sustainable is important and predictable. You want it to be predictable as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely.
You don't want to be blindsided by, oh, I didn't expect that was coming.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, also where your vision comes down. So where do you want to be?
Yeah.
And then how do I get there?
Okay, so I like that you jumped forward 4 years.
Yeah,
And
I jump forward 4
why
years.
4?
Because I feel like that's not too long that it becomes like a fairy tale,
Yeah,
and it's not too close that I panic. Holy cow! How am I going to do that in a year?
I love that.
So it's kind of like between 2 and 4, and sometimes when I write my vision, I will change it to 2.
Yeah.
Because every now and then in my business, I'll get a little bit itchy feet where I think, oh, now I should do this idea, now I should do that idea,
Yeah.
and then some of these things that come up are actually really great viable
Mhm.
income streams as well. So I'll do it, which means my vision then has to slightly change.
Yeah.
But 4 years is a really good benchmark to
I
start
like
on.
that. One of my
Yeah.
favourite lines is most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year
Yeah.
and underestimate what they can do in 10.
Yeah.
But that 4 is that sweet spot where, like you said, because 10 can be a little bit like, oh, like I could set some amazing 10-year goals and they're really inspirational, but what do I do today is irrelevant to
Yeah,
that.
that's right.
And 1 year, can be a bit overwhelming
Yeah.
because, I mean, already we're halfway
Oh my
through this
gosh.
year and I can't believe it. I know. So
Yeah.
4's good.
Yeah.
I like that. Now, that final point of vision, mission, and values,
Yes,
the values,
the values.
So,
Super important.
really important. Now, this would be great for hiring as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you want to find someone that's aligned with your values.
Yeah.
You want to partner with people that are aligned with your values.
Yeah.
So, tell us about your values
Yeah.
at the temple. Yeah.
Cool. So we write our values down, obviously, and it's part of our induction period. It's part of my hiring process, even, and then the induction period, because I can train you to become excellent skill sets that you need to do the job. But I can't train you to be kind, to be nurturing, you know, that sort of thing. So it's really important that you do hire off values, but you can't hire off values if you don't know what they are. So
And if you don't know what theirs are and you don't know what yours are yourself.
Exactly
Yeah.
right. So I write my values down, and then with each value becomes a behaviour as well, because every value that you have is you want then your staff to behave in a certain way to reflect that. Does that make sense? So you've got to write that down as well. So my values for my business is definitely family is everything. That's our first one, because everybody that knows me will understand that from the day I open my doors, I want my clients, I want my staff members, I want my family, I want my friendship circle. I'm a very much a relationship person, and I want people around me to feel like they're family and make them feel worthy and loved. And so family and everything is our first value. Second thing is professionalism. Professionalism is really important, obviously, because that becomes with the behaviour on how I want my team to treat their clients. Love and kindness is another one, and again, anyone that knows me says that I say this all the time, especially to my kids. Love and kindness. so
Well, you're pretty loving and kind.
my husband calls it shum shit, but you and your shum shit. Well, they're going to believe it one day. One day they'll wake up with love and kindness. So love and kindness is definitely one of my values, and then honesty and integrity. So everything that, and the values for the business come from my personal values, because you can't pretend to be something that you're not. But they also have been tweaked to, well, if this is honesty and integrity is one of my values, what does that mean for the business? It means that when my therapists are sitting with a client and they're prescribing skincare, they're not selling them something they don't need.
Yes.
They're not telling them they need a this is such a cute dog. Can you see the dog?
I'm not sure if you can see the dog, but
they're not telling the client to sign up for a package that is not needed for their skin. They're being honest, they're acting professional, and they're doing everything with integrity.
Yeah. Now, one other thing about Renee's business, which we'll address in another Facebook Live if you come back, is because I know you do an extraordinary job of marketing, and but we don't have time for that today. But I do want to talk about, because there'll be no doubt people watching that think, oh, like I've loved what you said. How can I get more information on that? So we've tagged it on this Facebook Live, but tell us a bit about Business Beyond Beauty.
Yeah, so Business Beyond Beauty is a mentoring program that my husband Justin Harold and I do. So he's been in business for over 20 years. He started a brand called Attitude, and you can look him up and go through his
Look
story.
up Justin's story, because I've seen JustinHerald.com. I've watched Justin speak a couple of times at conferences that I've been at, so I'm familiar with his story. It's a great story, and he tells it well.
That's right.
But yeah, if you look up Justin Herald, you'll be able to see that.
Yeah.
So he's also.
So he's a business owner with me in this as well, and it's for the hair and beauty industry. Having 26 years experience in the industry and having had my business for 17 years now, I've attended loads and loads. I'm very much a green and growing mindset, so I've attended loads of business courses as well as industry courses, and also made huge wins and huge losses in business, and through that becomes growth. And in the business, basically, we are mentoring clients in the hair and beauty industry to be the most successful and sustainable business that they can.
Yeah.
So a lot of the therapists will be amazing at their craft, they'll start their own business, and unfortunately nobody's ever taught them the art of business and the skill sets that it takes to actually have a really long-term profitable business where they're not just churning the wheel all the time,
Where they're building something, like I said before, that works harder for them.
Absolutely. Nobody teaches you that.
Yeah.
And so Business Beyond Beauty just takes it to that next level. So maybe you've got a really great business already and just don't quite know how to get to that next level. It could be everything from pricing and profitability to policy and procedures manuals to systems.
When you were
leadership.
running through the list before, I'm like, that is so good, because there isn't, I'm not aware of someone that can help with that type of thing. And it's often where people get stuck, because it's like, well, I know I'm supposed to do that because I heard it at a conference or I read about it somewhere, but I don't know what to do next.
Don't know how to.
And you've got everything from an entry-level audit right through to one-on-one coaching, which can walk people through step by step.
Anything
or
they need in
anything
their
that they
business.
need to turn what they've got into, again, a profitable, predictable business.
So they're living their purpose and they're actually reaching their vision goals.
Yeah, fantastic. And I can't stress enough how much that industry experience is helpful, but you've also got, you're able to take a step back and look at it from a different perspective, but you've got Justin as well.
Absolutely.
He's got a different mindset and different skill set when it comes to
Different.
business, coming from a completely different industry. So I think that can really work well.
I'm very analytical and systemised in the way that I think, and Justin's very left field, and that's what's so beautiful about the synchronicity of the two of us, because he'll be able to look at a situation where perhaps my original thinking will be, wow, that's a little bit tricky, where he's just like, no, you just need to do this, that and that, and so.
I know that's often the case with Lisa and I, where I'll get stumped on something and she's like, well, what about this? That's why I love working with her. So many friends say, how do you do that? But it's easy.
And he's great at other things that I'm not. Like, he's got his customer service training, he's great at PR, trademarking even, that's all stuff that nobody teaches you.
Which can be crucial.
Yes.
Yeah. We see that sometimes. You'll see the news announcement where some juggernaut company is suing some poor little operator in the back of Ipswich, which I think is disgusting, but they'll do that because they haven't maybe, crossed some T's and dotted some I's when they should have many years ago when they got started. So that's important too. Cool. And there's one other thing before we go, which I just think is an absolute treat. Pardon the pun there, but tell us about Temple Retreats.
Temple Retreats. Okay, Temple Retreats.
I'm not invited on this one because,
you have to be a woman, I'm sorry. Justin's not very impressed that he's not invited either. Temple Retreats is for women in business. It's for women that are professional roles within a business, so CEOs, CFOs, managing directors, that sort of thing. And it's basically what we're doing is 5-star experiential retreats. The first one is in September in Spain. The second one will be next September in Spain, because we have such a high demand of people already wanting to enrol in that one. And I know that's right. So it's all the things that basically you want to do on holidays that your husband whinges about. So it is, stylists, doing a personal stylist consultation. We're visiting day spas all through Spain. We're starting in Barcelona, then Valencia, then we're going down to Madrid. We've got Arabian bathhouse. We've got magnesium pools. We've got, you name it. It's shopping, but we have famous Erka, the chef, that's coming in to teach us how to cook Spanish paella, and we have a catamaran that's taking us on a half-day sailing. Like, beautiful stuff. So if you're
I like that. It's all the stuff that they meant, because half of that's not doing it for me.
Yeah, that's
the
right.
other half, I'm like, I could do
day
that.
spas, massages every day. It's like heaven.
It's funny. Lisa and I visited the Epinay in France several years ago, and we had a tour of Moet and Chandon, their factory tour, booked. And as we arrived, and I'm a non-drinker, as in like complete teetotaler, but I was fascinated by the brands. I'm thinking, I want to go do that. And as we arrive, there's all of these people lining the sidewalk, and the Tour de France was leaving Epinay that day. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm watching the Tour de France. I have to stand on the sideline while I watch these world-class cyclists come past. I'm not going to go do the tour. So again, women have sometimes different. Yeah. So what a great idea.
Yeah.
And I know that the demand has been really strong. So
so we only want to keep it quite niche. So we only will take a maximum of 12 people.
That's cool too.
So we've got a few people that have already put their names down in first served for next year.
And not just salon owners. It's
not just salon owners.
Female business owners.
Female business owners, or you don't even have to have your own business, but you, a
might be a
professional working.
Yeah.
Somebody that basically wants to enjoy luxury and experiences and travel and downtime and stuff like self-development. We'll talk about different self-development and mindset things. We've got a lecture from some amazing specialists on gut health, on mindfulness, and all that sort of stuff.
Really cool. And I think that another thing about those two, the mentoring, Business Beyond Beauty, and the retreats, is that you've been able to go to that level because you've been able to build a business that can work harder for you than you do for it over here.
Yes.
And like I said, not to take anything away from the hard work that you put into it, because you have to work your ass off to get it to that level. But I think it's inspiration.
Continue to work your ass off.
Yeah, for sure. That never stops.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any such thing as a business that completely run without you. I remember years ago, there was a guy that was selling an autopilot program when it comes to business. Now, I don't mind the headline there. It's like, oh, that makes sense. Autopilot's good. But autopilot isn't like a driverless car. There's still a pilot up there, right? But you have been able to build a business. You continue to work hard on it. But you've got these other opportunities that have arisen, these ideas that you want to execute, ways to give back, ways to also meet those original needs that you talked about with your vision, mission and values. I can see how those vision, mission and values are manifesting with these new entities as well, which is really cool. And I think it's an inspiration that anyone with, even if it's a really small salon, they can scale that business up, get it to a point where it's operating really well and it's predictable and it's profitable, and then they can start to say, all right, well, how could then I apply some other dreams or heart goals that I have inside me as well? And I think it's extraordinary what you've done, and it's a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you.
I would love to have you back to talk more about marketing, because like I said before, you when we get together and I'll suggest something, and Renee's like, I do that plus these.
This tangent.
I do these other dozen things as well. It's like, okay, cool. Like you do so much to generate new fresh leads. You've got systems in place to convert those leads into clients. You nurture them to the point where they're treated and felt like family. And there's so much in that journey that I want to explore more. So we will come back again and chat about that.
Fabulous.
Cool. Thank you so much. Now I'm going to, as professional as I was letting the dogs out, go and turn this thing off, because the team are working really hard outside and there's no one here to moderate for us.
No, just
thanks
us.
again.
Awesome. Pleasure.
Thanks everyone. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching, everybody.